Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Welcome to the A.D.K channel. Today we're checking out a new release by a band we have checked out before. So without further ado, let's go check it out. There's your first 30 seconds, guys. So, Andy, I'm fairly certain you're going to say, yeah, we should carry on watching this. But let's check what you actually said. First impressions.
Well, it is a first impression because I think this is the second single from the new upcoming Guilt Trip album. And I've purposely not listened to any of the tracks so far because I want to sort of listen to the album in entirety. But yeah, it's what you'd expect. You know, the sound is really crisp and well produced. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new album. The video looks good as well.
Yeah, safe here. First impression on the album of the video looks good. The little bit of the almost the slightly chaotic is not really the sort of riffs or drum pattern that gets me into a song because it's a little bit too chaotic for me. So probably if I actually have to say if it wasn't for a reaction video, I probably would have jumped by now, just because it hasn't got me into an initial groove or a melody or something to hook me in. But I'm still intrigued enough because we've obviously checked them out at least once before on the channel and we enjoyed it. So. But yeah, that first 30 seconds is obviously quite important to me, and that but if it's a band that I really was like a well-known band that I'm really into, then I probably would normally naturally carry on. But for a first-time impression, probably would normally be a skip for me. But we of course are going to continue. Kirk,
I thought it threatened to go and to establish a headbanging rhythm at one point, and then it did find the groove, didn't it? A bit like, you know, those early prong records, early 90s prong records, they were the kings of that, weren't they? These remind me of that Belgian hardcore band that is signed to Century Media called Nasty. They've got an album coming out as well, I think, next month. But I think they're a bit more technical, aren't they, Guilt Trip? When you listen to those pull-offs, and they play more mid-range guitars as well. And certainly the footwork from the drummer. I can't remember, did the vocals come in or not at this stage?
No, it sounds like they're about to. I reckon there's going to be a riff, or it's either going to be vocals are going to come straight in as soon as I press play, or we're going to get like an interlude riff going or something maybe, and then it's going to drop. There's going to be some sort of drop coming anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's keep going. Go stop at this point just to kind of give our initial kind of thoughts on the just over the halfway point on this. So, Andy,
I mean, this is classic Guilt Trip, isn't it? Really good track. I mean, the drums are coming through really good. You know, I'm particularly liking the drum sound. A little surprised by the solo sort of early on. That was a bit unusual for them. Yeah, but it's got the sort of the guitar drop out, the squeals and the pinch harmonics, and the almost breakdown early on. There's some Biohazard influences in the video where they're walking down the street gesturing. You know, that's a bit Tales from the Hard Side, isn't it? But yeah, love it. Really good.
Yeah, so I can't remember much about what we did with Guilt Trip before, because we have done it, as I said, once before on a song. And I remember me thinking it was primarily sort of fairly standard kind of hardcore style. This one feels a little bit different in the sense that I'm getting hardcore, but I'm also getting elements of new metal in some of those riffs in there. I'm also getting very much Fear Factory influence in some of that guitar tone. It's like there's certain sections don't sound like a hardcore track, and apart from the vocals sound hardcore, but the guitars and the drums, if you took the vocals out, you'd be like, well, this is almost like a deathcore track going on over the tops of here, with a little bit of thrashy elements going as well, and sort of some core death metal, and the pitch squeals and stuff like that on those riffs there. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, okay, we're getting new metal now, riffs coming into this sort of vibe, but I really like that element. And then this last section we've just had just feels pure hardcore to me. But yeah, I also like the video. The video is very much like they're up to the camera, doing lots of expressionism. So yeah, Tales from the Hard Side, Biohazard, which is is the obvious reference there. What about you, Kirk?
Or maybe we should call it Tales from Moss Side. I've just realised they're from Manchester, aren't they, this band?
Good one.
So, I definitely agree with you, Dave. I think this band are clearly fans of that mid to late 90s Roadrunner catalogue, the great bands, Fear Factory, Machine Head, the first Slipknot record. I mean, I saw one of them wearing a Machine Head t-shirt, another one's wearing Discharge, another one's Slipknot. I agree. It's mainly the attitude where the hardcore comes through and some of the drum patterns, although we haven't heard a D-Beat so far. But they're quite a technical band, aren't they? I think these really are. I say this quite often. They're a hardcore band in spirit aimed at a metal audience. You know, as Andy pointed out, pinch harmonics, natural harmonics. There's some really interesting rotational like scale patterns in there, and it's heavy as fuck as well. And really, it does play towards the mosh pit, doesn't it, at certain sections? And then you've got your great syncopated chugging breakdown where all instruments are just locked in together. And if you experience that live, it's euphoric, isn't it? So yeah, I'm with you on this one, Andy. Looking forward to this album when it comes out.
Dave, that's a great shot you've frozen it on as well. I'd have accidentally looked sort of reflection in the dirty part. Yeah. That's a great image. That
could be an album cover, that couldn't it?
Yeah,
that's the album cover. Hopefully,
yeah, we've created it for you guys.
There you go. We'll take our commission. There you go. Right, go on. Let's wrap this one up and let's run it to the end.
Broken wings, I fell from grace. Cover my soul with the blood I owe. It's running cold. A broken dreams.
Yeah, I've just got to pause on this because this kind of just makes me think of Happy Mondays and Tales from the Hard Side and Happy Mondays Oasis, and like got my sunglasses on, a bit of a mod kind of geezer guy. I'm just.
Image-wise, yes. Musically, not. You're right. Yeah. He's definitely walking through the streets of Manchester like Sean Ryder there, isn't he?
Sure, that's it, Sean Ryder. There we go. Thank you. That's what I was thinking.
And the Orange Sky is straight off of the Urban Discipline album, isn't it?
Yeah. You're twisting my melon, man.
Normally, I wouldn't have paused it, but it was just such an obvious thing of going, hey,
I think it's because he's got the calm down fringe as well. Calm down fringe, sunglasses. You are expecting him to say you're twisting my melon, man, are you?
All right, go on then. bit of Guilt Trip for you. So let's round it round the room. Final thoughts on Guilt Trip and the song Broken Wings. Andy.
Yeah, like I said, classic Guilt Trip for the first section we reviewed, and then that sort of Manchester Shaun Ryder clean vocals. It's very different for them. It's been a bit of a surprise, and then sort of almost unexpected abrupt ending. Despite what I said earlier, I probably will check out these tracks before the album, because that was a really good song, but you need to listen to it in entirety to sort of pick out all the different elements that they've fitted in that one song. It's a bit of a bit of a departure from what they'd normally use as a complete song, with all the classic Guilt Trip elements in there as well. But yeah, really looking forward to the new album. Love to catch them live sometime.
Okay. For me, feedback on it, good track overall. Didn't like the midsection where it's clean. Just lost all flow for me as far as the energy of the track. It didn't add anything. I'm sure there is a contextualization of the reason behind why they've gone quite meaningful, especially with the title Broken Wings. So probably if I had the lyrics up in front of me, I could probably break that down and understand what the story's about, and there is a deep meaning behind it. But because the video doesn't actually have much in the way of storytelling, from what I can tell, it's just very much a hardcore video. It's hard to put that together. I'd have almost liked it to get up to that mid bit where it goes, and then gone into that last section of breakdown, taking it from a 3.5 minute down to a 2.5 minute hardcore song. Would have been a banger for me, and would have been a 100% loved it from start to finish. But that clean section kind of breaks it up too much for me. But as I said, they've written it with a particular meaning in mind, so I'm sure that there is an element there, that there's a reason why they've gone down that route. And it feels very different from what I wasn't expecting it in the hardcore song to have this kind of spoken word, deep and meaningful. The other thing visually, there's one thing that kind of made me go, I'm just questioning, which was. And it's just something that got stuck in my head as he was watching. I'm like, so why, if you're wearing a baseball cap, why do you also have to put your hoodie on at the same time? If you've got effectively wearing two hats then, aren't you?
That's a northern chavvy thing, that, isn't it?
I just looked at it, I was like, well, what's the point? Either put a hoodie on or put a hat on. Why do you have to wear both? I don't get it.
Just the look and the style, and it's hard.
I guess it is, yeah. Maybe you have to put the hoodie on to hold your hat down. If it's very windy, I don't know. I don't get it, but I'm just
the cap's on top of the hood.
Well, maybe I'm just suddenly this is where I go, man, I'm getting old. When I sit there and think about it like that, and I'm just questioning people's dress sense, going, why are you wearing that? And then of course there's me sitting there going, yeah, I'm wearing a backwood hoodie.
Kids today.
Anyway, Kirk, wrap it up for us.
Okay, actually, I'll pick up on that quickly. So, I grew up in the later teenage years on the fringes of Greater Manchester. So they used to wear baseball caps perched on their head. We used to call them townies rather than chavs. I hate both words. And apparently there was reason behind it. They would have it perched because if they're going to go and headbutt someone, they can just remove the cap before they do it. So I don't know how that relates to this one, but on a serious note, so Manchester's more famous for black metal, Necronautical, Winter Phylith, Woad, some really top-level black metal bands. And obviously you've got that band Ingested that are having some success in America at the moment, and they play slam, don't they? Brutal death metal with a bit of deathcore. I've never actually heard a hardcore band from Manchester, so this is, to me, I would check them out for that reason alone. I actually didn't mind that clean section. I thought it was something different. It's only the image that gave that Manchester vibe. If they weren't from Manchester, we probably wouldn't have associated it with that. They're quite a technical band, these, aren't they? Because if you think about that, there must be at least, I would say, 10 or 11 different parts to that song, and it was only, 3 minutes and 5 seconds? So that's what I liked about the last song by Guilt Trip. They just throw in so many riffs, but you don't feel as if you jammed with them or there's an overflow.
Yeah.
So I think they're quite good at judging how much to put in there. And then the ending was absolutely brutal, wasn't it? I think really when we, the elitists, we don't really like to use the name metalcore for bands like that, do we? We have to use this term metallic hardcore because we don't want them to be associated with all the mainstream shite that teenagers listen to. So to me, that is the real definition of metalcore, and I'm going to be a snob and call it metallic hardcore.
There we go, metallic hardcore. So that was Guilt Trip and Broken Wings. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you on the video sometime very soon. Take care.